Hi everybody, this is Kefren, your favorite French Canadian. Today I'm going to show you how to boost your FPS in 7 Days to Die in 2024, the new 1.0 version. We're going to start by optimizing Windows. After that we will go inside of the game and I'm going to tell you if it's worth to use FSR or not. So now the best setting for Windows for gaming. So first of all, we're going to search for game mode in the search bar. Make sure that game mode is activated for the past year. It's pretty good. You're getting a decent performance and you're going to make sure that all your resources are focused on the game that you're playing. For the Xbox game bar, I still recommend to deactivate this one, causing stuttering, crashing in some games. So I'm not a huge fan of the Xbox game bar. And for the capture, make sure that the background recording is at off and also the recorded audio is at off. Another thing that I recommend, it's the hardware accelerated GPU scheduling. Make sure that you're searching for graphics setting. You will need an NVIDIA card, 1000 series or more recent. It will really help with bottlenecks. So if you have a 1050, 1050 Ti, 1060, even the 2060, you can expect a nice 2 to 5% boost. And also you can expect less stuttering when you're using that. So I really recommend to use that. Another thing that is really important, it's your driver. Make sure that you have the latest driver from AMD, NVIDIA, even Intel if you have an iGPU on your processor. So for an example here with AMD, you just click check for update and it's gonna show you if you have the latest one. You can do the same thing with NVIDIA. Another thing that I can recommend with the NVIDIA and AMD, they have an image scaling for the past a couple of months. From AMD, it's called Super Resolution, and for NVIDIA, it's NIS. I have dedicated video who's gonna show you how to use that and how to configure it. But to explain you quickly what it's about, so you need to enable this. So for example, I'm playing in 2K because my monitor is in 2K. I'm going inside of my game. I lower the resolution at 1080p, and the software will scale it back at 2K. And with this process, I can save 15-20% in my FPS. Also, you can do it if you have a 4K monitor and you want to do 1080p or 2K. You can expect a nice boost. The image quality will not be the same if you compare with native, but in some game it's working very well and it's very tough to see the difference. So I recommend to use it if you're struggling with your FPS. So if you have an NVIDIA card, just go on your NVIDIA setting, go to control panel, open it, go to manage 3D setting, and just use pretty much the setting that I'm currently using. Honestly, they're pretty much default. So the first one that you need to change is your low latency mode. If you have this technology, make sure that it's at on. The other one is if you want to lock your FPS. For an example, you have a 170 Hz monitor and you want to stay in your G-Sync range, you just put your FPS here at something like 167, something like that. You want to be under 170 Hz to always stay in your G-Sync range. So if you want to do that, it will do that for all your game. It's a global setting over there. So I'm gonna unlock it, and this is pretty much it. If you have access to the change ECC state, I recommend to uncheck it. This will slow your VRAM, so you don't want to use that. For change resolution, make sure that you're playing native. So if you have a 2K monitor, go with 2K. If you have a 1080p monitor, go with 1080p. And super important, look at your refresh rate. A lot of people are missing this step. They buy a new screen and by default it's at 60. So use the maximum refresh rate that is available on your monitor. The last parameter will be your G-Sync. So I recommend, if you want to use G-Sync, I recommend to, first of all, you need to enable it. And I recommend to use the enable for window and full screen. So if you're playing a game like in borderless mode, it will be applied. Also, you can select just one display screen depending on whatever. If your second screen is not compatible with G-Sync, you will just push it to one monitor. I'm not using it. I have a 4090 for my GPU, so I just want to unlock my FPS. So in majority of the game, I'm getting 250 FPS, and my monitor refresh rate is at 170 Hz. So I just want to lower my input lag, so that's why I just unlock everything, but it really depends on your situation. So this is pretty much it for NVIDIA. Another thing that I recommend, it's your energy profile. So write energy in your search bar, go to power option. Make sure that you're running something like balance or high performance. On a desktop computer, it should not be an issue, but if you're playing on a laptop, Really make sure that you're using that or a special profile for performance from your brand like Asus, Dell, or whatever. The thing is, sometimes when you plug your PC in the wall, unplug, using it with the battery, sometimes it stay at power saver and you don't want to use that when you're playing a game. So super important to be plugged in and also to use a proper performance profile. Another thing that I can recommend, it's the Intelligent Standby List Cleaner. This is a software made by the guy from DDU. It's pretty amazing, honestly. It will help if you don't have a lot of RAM in your PC. So if you have 4 gig of RAM, 8 gig, 12 gig, after that, you should be fine. Windows is doing the job properly. So it will free memory and it's gonna make sure that it optimizes your standby list. So what I recommend normally, it's look at your total memory here. In my case, it's 32. Just divide it by 2. So for me, it's 16. Just press start and it will run automatically, and you just lower the software like that and you're gonna make sure it's optimized. So it's a really good software, and also it helps a little bit with stuttering. So I really recommend to use that. One last thing is I have dedicated video on my channel about overclocking CPU, overclocking GPU, depending on your brand and stuff. And it's pretty good because there are basic overclocking guide. I don't touch voltage, so it's pretty safe. You can expect sometimes 2% to 10% boost in your FPS depending on your thermal, depending on your component. But it's something that you need to look at too if you want to optimize your PC for the best performance. So now let's go inside of the game. So now, inside of the game, so for the resolution, I really recommend to play native. So in my case, it's 1440p. So don't lower your resolution over there. Make sure that you're matching it with your monitor. Full screen, really important to go with on. You don't want some stuttering, you're gonna lose a FPS if you go with off with this one, so just go with on. Deactivate the dynamic resolution mode, super important. I always deactivate my VSync in any game. I don't like to add some input lag. Honestly, if you don't like those steering line, you can use FreeSync or G-Sync depending on your video card. And the last one is your field of view. I like to play like 73, but when you put more FOV, you're gonna lose some FPS. So don't go too crazy if you're struggling to run the game right now. So now the quality parameter, I want to mention before, everybody has like a different computer, so really important to understand. I'm going to show you which one will provide you the most of your FPS. After that, you just need to take some decision. Do you need like 144 FPS? Do you just need your 60? So that's pretty much it. The first one is anti-aliasing. Anti-aliasing, me, I recommend to go with off. I'm not a huge fan of anti-aliasing in this game. The game looks too blurry for me, and you're gonna gain a nice 8% boost in your FPS. You have now the FSR that it's now in the game. I recommend high or ultra because the game is too blurry at medium or lower. But honestly, I had a lot of issue with that. Sometimes I was losing my texture and stuff like that. Not a huge fan anyway of FSR. And the weird part, I'm gonna show you something. Right now with DLSS swapper, I see that 7 Days to Die has a DLSS.dll file. I think right now they have some issue to have like a proper image quality, so they're gonna work for it for sure. I'm pretty sure it's coming in the future. We're gonna have some DLSS, and I hope they're gonna upgrade the FSR also, maybe use the third one and use some frame gen. It will really help for this game. So my recommendation is go with off. Texture quality, it really depends on your amount of VRAM on your GPU. So if you have 6 gig and more, you can play full and ultra. 4 gig, go with off and high. 3 gig, quarter and medium, and less than 3 gig, go 8 or low. So this is pretty much it. Gonna go back like this. Reflection quality, I recommend to go with off. It will help a lot with your FPS. A nice 8% boost, and it's gonna stabilize your FPS a lot. Reflect shadow, shadow distance, off, low, and shadow quality at off. This will provide you 20% boost. It's pretty huge, so definitely use that. Particle, you not necessarily see a big increase in your FPS, but you're gonna stabilize your FPS a lot. So I don't recommend to go higher than 20%, honestly. It's gonna do the job, and if you're very limited with your computer, just go lower than that. View distance, you have a couple of options. Honestly, if you're struggling with your FPS, you should play at low. But my recommendation is plat medium in this game. You want a decent view distance with an LOD distance of 25%. This will provide you a nice 12% boost in your FPS. After that, terrain quality, I recommend to go with medium. Not a huge difference between low and medium, so go with medium. You're gonna get a nice 4% boost. Water quality, not a huge difference between low and high. You can definitely run high. Grass distance and object quality, I recommend to go with medium. Again, big difference between high and medium, but at low, honestly, I just see 2% difference. So my recommendation is go with medium. Occlusion, I recommend to deactivate it. A nice 3% boost over there. And all those settings over there, just go everything at off. You're going to get another 14% boost over there. The last one is your dynamic mesh option. Please put this one at no. It will help you a lot with your FPS. So if you're playing some PvP game, maybe you should definitely use it at yes because of the function of it. But if you're playing a PvE, honestly, just go with no. It will help you a lot with your FPS. So this is pretty much it, guys. For the version 1.0. Now you have FSR. Not a huge fan of it, honestly. I hope they're gonna improve it in the future month. If you have any questions, just comment in the YouTube section. Post me your rig, CPU, GPU, and RAM. I will try to help you the best that I can. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.